I had this conversation once with someone, and they were telling me how they wanted to start a business and their wife wasn't supporting them. I said, "Why do you think that is?" And he said, "Well, I just think that her personality type, she's not very entrepreneurial. She's never been that way. She's super cautious, but this is something I want to go for. So I'm going to start this business up and it's going to be successful, and then she's going to see." I said, "Okay, great." A few months later, he was telling me how hard it's been at home because his wife is still very non-supportive. And he's wondering, what is her big deal? It's not that he's asking her to do anything. He's going to do all the work. Matter of fact, she would reap the benefits. She would just be able to sit there, he said, and enjoy the fruits of the labor. And I asked him a question. I said, "Why do you think that she's not supportive of what you have?" And he said, "You know what? I don't know." After talking a little bit more, it finally came out. This wasn't his first business venture. Matter of fact, this was like his fifth business venture. And in each one of the previous business ventures, he lost money. Not just his money, her money too. So in her mind, every time he's about to start something, it's going to cost her money. What I found interesting was that even though he understood logically what her resistance was, he still didn't take responsibility for why she felt that way. You see, in his mind, she just wasn't being supportive. And I'm sure in her mind, she was being more than supportive, considering she's lost money in the previous 4 ventures that he came up with. Why do I say that? We teach people how to treat us. We do. If you want a certain level of support, that's great. But the question is, what have you shown them before to have them give you that support? So many times we look at other people and we give them the responsibility of having to give us everything that we want without taking the responsibility of why they're giving us whatever they're giving us. You see, if you're seasoned and successful, everyone around you is going to praise you. I promise you, if his first, second, third, or fourth ventures worked, she'd be totally on board for number 5. But the key wasn't just that the ventures didn't work. It was why it didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work was because he gave up. In each one of the examples that he gave me, there was a point where he just said, "I've had enough. I'm tired of this." And this is part of the lie or the myth of success. The myth of success is that you have to love every part of it. The myth of success is that whatever that thing is, if it was exciting on Monday, it's going to be equally as exciting on Friday. And that's a myth. Most successful people will tell you that the thing that they do that you look at now as being incredibly successful is a thing that they hated at some points in times, maybe even in the course of that day. Why? Because you're not necessarily supposed to love all of it. You're just supposed to do it. And so often we get caught up with the love of something that we don't take responsibility for the fact that if we said it was something that we're supposed to do and we just continue to do it, it's probably going to end up working out. There's a tremendous thought leader I love listening to named Alex Hormozy who says, there are 2 outcomes once you get into business. It eventually works, number 1, or number 2, you give up before it does. For most people, they've only experienced number 2. The people around them have only seen them with number 2. And now, if I've had a number 2 experience watching you give up on something, watch you give up on the next thing, watch you give up on the 3rd thing, the 4th thing, the 5th thing. Now the 6th thing comes along and you want my support. And not only do you want my support, you blame me if I don't support. You see, think about that for a second. You've given me all the evidence that I need that you will not do what it takes to get the result, that you will stop, that you will move on with an unfinished project. And now you hold me emotionally responsible because of the fact that I won't support the next thing that you're going to give up on. See, everybody, I want you to think to yourselves for a moment. How many things have you begun that you swore this was it? And if someone brings it up to you, you're almost offended. Like, how dare you bring that up to me? We teach people how to treat us. And if you want people to treat you different, the best thing you can do is to do something different. And how about this? I will continue on until I succeed. That's it. If you believe it could work, if in your heart you know it can work, if it worked for someone else, it can work for you. And even if it didn't work for someone else, it can still work for you. But here's how it can never work: if you have an escape hatch. The moment you have the escape hatch, like, if this doesn't work, then I will blank, it's already over. And I'm promising you this. If I would have sat down with his wife and we had a conversation and I expressed these thoughts, she would have looked at me and looked at him, and it would have been validation. Today, what is the thing that you have in your heart that you know you're supposed to do? Okay, you got it? Whatever that thing is. Okay, great. Now, do it. Do it, and do not hold anyone else accountable for the outcome. Don't say things like, well, I would have, but my family didn't support me, or my wife or my husband didn't support me, or the people I work with didn't support me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take 100% like this is mine. And I don't need someone to co-sign what's mine. It's mine. And if they don't co-sign what's mine, then I'm still going to do it. And if they do co-sign what's mine, then I'm still going to do it. But the moment you succeed at it, knowing that you did it with or without the support of those around you, is the moment you're going to have the breakthrough. Most people stop because they don't get the cosign, but I'm going to encourage you to keep going regardless of the cosign. And if you're someone who in the past has started but not completed, expect very little from the people around you. Just don't expect anything from them. If they give you something, great. If they don't, great. Because you've shown them who you have been. Now it's time to show them who you can be. So here's how it's going to work out. You're going to begin something. It's going to seem great. Then it's going to get hard. Then it's going to get awful. Then you'll be exhausted. They're going to be questioning why you did it in the first place. Then you're going to look around some nights and think that you're crazy. And the people around you are going to think you're crazy. And if you can get past that stage of thinking that you're crazy, on the other side of that is your success. Right when you're about to throw in your towel, that's when your success is waiting for you. So do yourself a favor. Make the choice, whatever you're about to do, that you're going to do it until it's accomplished. You're not going to seek any validation. You're just going to do it because it is the thing you're supposed to do.